What's up, Chemical Guys family? Thanks so much for tuning in for today's episode of Detail Garage. As you see here, today we have this beautiful red Ferrari F355 Spider in the shop. And today we're going to be showing you guys how to properly waterless wash this so we don't need to use a pressure washer or a foam cannon or a foam gun. And also we're going to show you guys how to properly protect it and enhance that vibrant shine. Now this gorgeous Ferrari is starting to show its age because it's a little over 20 years old, but the driver likes to take it out there and daily it, and it's starting to show some of the wear and tear on things like the top where it's actually starting to leak. That's why we don't want to use something like a foam cannon or pressure washer where it could actually cause leaking inside of the car. So that's why we're using our Swift Wipe waterless wash. And this is safe to use on any surface around the vehicle, including your glass, your paintwork, your wheels, even in the engine bay. And what we're going to do is just gently spray it onto the surface, and we'll give this a moment to encapsulate and emulsify and also soften up any of the bird droppings or pollen or bee poop or anything like that that will scratch the paintwork. And then using a clean green workhorse microfiber towel, we're going to start wiping away any of the spent product. And you want to roll the towel as you wipe, this way you're creating that fresh edge. So you're not scratching or grinding any abrasive material into the surface that you're working on or cleaning. And what's great about Swift Wipe is you can use this on any color vehicle that's gloss painted. And this is going to leave behind a fine layer of sealant which helps to enhance that shine, but also adds a protective layer to repel any kind of harmful UV rays, any kind of water spots, and it also makes it difficult for new debris and contaminants to stick to the surface, which keeps your car looking cleaner for longer. But moving on, we're going to be applying our cherry wet wax to this beautiful red Ferrari because one, this is going to enhance a vibrant shine, but also if you didn't know, red absorbs UV rays very poorly, and that's going to cause it to turn chalky or it'll turn kind of pink over time. And this is going to help prolong the life of the paintwork while also giving a deep gloss that's going to really enrich the overall look of the vehicle. So now what we're going to do is start by shaking up the bottle. And you can apply this by machine or by hand, but for today we're going to be using our blue microfiber applicator pad to hand apply the product. We're just going to apply 2 lines. And we'll start on the hood. And I like to work from the center out, just so I'm not leaning across areas I've already waxed. We'll just blotch it out. And a little bit goes a long way, so there's no need to apply a heavy coat. But if you're looking for more protection, you can obviously apply secondary coats, or you can layer on sealants and waxes and glazes and such. But what I recommend using is a cross-hatching pattern just to ensure that you've covered the entire surface evenly. And this will also spread the product finer so it'll be easier to buff it off. And now normally before we apply any kind of coatings, you want to make sure that the surface is completely clear and cleansed, meaning that you'd clay bar it or polish it if necessary. But this is a Ferrari, which means that it's not going to be not as necessarily decontaminated or contaminated as a regular vehicle, but the owner takes fairly good care of this. So it's already been clayed and it's been recently detailed, but we're just going to enhance it and add some protection by adding the wax. And also you saw that we used the waterless wash, which is safe to use in your garage or if you don't have access to running water or a hose. It's the perfect option to keep your car looking its best in between car washes or as a dedicated car wash itself. But now we're just going to spread a very fine coat of cherry wet wax, and this only takes a few minutes to bond to the surface. So we'll allow it to cure, and then we'll come back with a clean microfiber towel and buff off any of the excess. Now I had said that you can apply this outside in direct sunlight because a lot of detailers, especially mobile detailers, have to deal with working outside in direct sunlight. And it's perfectly fine to do so as long as the surface is cool to the touch. And what I mean, as long as you can put your hand against the paintwork or the surface of the glass and you're not pulling it away because it's too hot, it's perfectly fine to apply your favorite coatings. This way it's not going to flash or dry really hard on the surface and it becomes very difficult to pull off. But you just want to make sure that if you're going to be working outside, you work panel by panel. This way you're not letting it dry for too long because, as I said, outdoors it's going to mean that it's going to be hotter or maybe it's going to be windier where it's going to dry the product very quickly. And that means that you want to work very quickly as well. But since today it's kind of gloomy, and we're working in the clouds, in the shade of the clouds, we have basically our normal work time, which I had said is about 10 to 15 minutes. We're still using that same cross-hatching pattern. In just a couple lines, it spreads very thin, so a little bit goes a long way. You see that the entire hood is basically coated now. And this is safe to use on your gloss painted surfaces. It really enhances your reds or your bright colors like yellows and oranges. But you can also use it on darker colors as well. But like I had said, this is a car that is going to be outside a lot. It's enjoyed, but it's also a red color, which can fade very quickly. So we want something that's going to enhance it as well as protect it. So I'm gonna work my way around the rest of the vehicle, but in the meantime, you guys can check out these products on our website, chemicalguys.com, or your local detail garage. If you like today's video, if you like this Ferrari, if you're just like pressing buttons, hit that like and also comment down below for any future videos. We'll see you guys next time.